Miso black cod, despite its modern day prestige, is shockingly easy to make. All you need is the highly priced black cod and a 3-day marination process. Today I want to show you how you could achieve a very similar result using the much cheaper regular cod in around 10 minutes. First up, we make what would be the marinade, but we use it as our cooking liquid. So, very simple, some white miso. It's important to use white miso for this recipe because you want the sweetness. If you don't have access to white miso, buy whatever miso you can get your hands on and add a bit of sugar. To that, just like the traditional recipe, we add a bit of sake. This will bring a ton of umami and remove any unwanted fishiness from the cod or the black cod. Some mirin. This would add viscosity and reinforce the sweetness of the white miso. And now we go a bit off-piste. We add a very generous amount of soy sauce, light soy sauce, factoring in the short cooking time we're aiming for. And this would reinforce the umami content of the miso. And we start to bring in some heat and slowly dissolve the miso. So what makes black cod special? Well, despite its name, it's not really a cod. It gets its name because of its soft and flaky texture, which is not dissimilar to cod. And it's prized for its rich, buttery flavor and very, very high oil content. So, to make up for that, we add a very generous amount of unsalted butter. I'm not saying this will be as tasty as a restaurant level miso black cod. What I'm offering is a 10-minute weekday meal that has wonderful flavors. Now, of course, if you're making it for the first time, at this point, you taste and you adjust the seasoning. Bearing in mind, the cod has not been seasoned, so you want this to be on the saltier side. Once everything is boiling, stove off. Here we have our regular cod on a baking tray, and this marinade goes straight on, and immediately it starts to cook the cod, tighten it slightly, giving it this slightly firm exterior texture you associate with the marination process. Of course, the enzyme and the salt would not have time to tenderize the flesh, but we'll give it a very short cooking time so that it's just the right doneness. Once this has a decent coating, it goes straight into a preheated oven at 200 degrees Celsius for a total of no more than 8 minutes, during which we'll baste a couple of times and check for doneness. So just 3 minutes, tilt, and we baste. And you want the thickest part to get to about 55 degrees Celsius and let the carryover cooking bring it to 60, the perfect level of flake. So, back to the oven for another 3 minutes. Look at that. The moisture from the fish is mixed perfectly well with our cooking liquid. So no flavor is lost. Perfect. Now, just a minute or two. After another minute, you can see it's perfectly flaky. The thickest part is approaching 55. So now we just give it a couple of minutes and this will be ready. Because we deliberately over-season the fish for the short cooking time, I would not recommend using the liquid as a sauce, but leaving just the thin coating of miso around the fish in the final stage of coating. So now we can plate. How beautiful is that? Perfect. And this is the 10-minute rice killer.